The song of the street musician, the plaza at dawn, in the heart of Mexico City, where colorful papel picado swayed over narrow streets and the smell of fresh tortillas drifted from corner stalls, lived Don Mateo, an old man with a weathered guitar. Every morning, just as the church bells tolled, Don Mateo would walk to the Plaza Garibaldi. He'd sit on the same stone bench, place his battered sombrero at his feet, and begin to play. His fingers were stiff with age, his clothes patched with care. But when he strummed the guitar, the music floated across the plaza like sunlight, bright, warm, impossible to ignore. Children stopped their games, shopkeepers leaned out of their doors, and even busy workers slowed down just to listen. Don Mateo never asked for coins. Sometimes people dropped pesos into his hat, sometimes not. But always, always he gave his songs. One afternoon, a young boy named Luis, no more than 10, sat on the steps across from Don Mateo. His shoes had holes, his school books were secondhand, and his family struggled to make ends meet. But as he listened, Luis felt something he hadn't felt in weeks. Hope. The music told stories of rivers and mountains, of mothers rocking their children, of fiestas where no one went hungry. When Don Mateo paused, Luis clapped louder than anyone. The old man chuckled. "You like the guitar, muchacho?" he asked. Luis nodded eagerly. "I wish I could play like you." The old man smiled. "Then come closer." Every song begins with just one note. Lessons in the plaza. From that day on, Luis visited the plaza every evening after school. He brought no money, only curiosity and wide-eyed wonder. Don Mateo showed him how to hold the guitar, how to press the strings until his fingers ached, how to let the rhythm guide his heart instead of his head. Music is not about perfection, Don Mateo told him. It's about sharing. If your song makes one person smile, you've given them a treasure no coin can buy. Luis practiced with an old wooden guitar his uncle had given him. Strings missing, frets worn. Yet, under Don Mateo's patient teaching, he learned. Slowly, painfully, but with joy. The empty bench. One rainy morning, Luis ran to the plaza, clutching his guitar. But the stone bench was empty. Don Mateo was not there. Day after day, the old musician's place remained silent. Some said he had grown too weak to play. Others whispered he had passed away quietly in his little room above the bakery. Luis's heart sank. The plaza felt colder without Don Mateo's music. But then he remembered the words, "If your song makes one person smile, you've given them a treasure." So, with trembling hands, Luis sat on the same bench and began to play. His notes were rough, but children stopped. Shopkeepers leaned out. People smiled. And for the first time, Luis felt the magic. He wasn't just playing. He was giving. The legacy lives on. Years later, Luis grew into a fine young man. He played not only in the plaza, but in schools, hospitals, and community gatherings. Wherever he went, he carried Don Mateo's spirit with him. People often asked, "Why do you play for free when you could earn money in the big city clubs?" Luis always answered, "Because someone once taught me that music is a gift, not a business, and a gift only has power when it's shared." One evening, under the golden glow of lanterns in Plaza Garibaldi, Luis sat on the old stone bench where Don Mateo once played. A little girl approached shyly, her eyes wide, holding a toy guitar with plastic strings. "Will you teach me?" she asked. Luis smiled, his heart swelling with memory. Of course, every song begins with just one note. And as his fingers strummed into the night, the circle of kindness, music, and generosity lived on. Moral of the story: true wealth lies not in riches, but in the joy we give to others. A small act of generosity can echo across generations.